guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. I got another video for you guys here today. Before we get started with today's video, if you guys could do me a solid favor and down below, if you can smash the like button, that'd be fantastic. It doesn't take too long to do, and it helps the channel out so much in YouTube's algorithm. On top of that, if you are new here, I do recommend you subscribe to receive more Dallas Cowboys content from yours truly in the future. And make sure you hit the notification bell alongside that. About 90% of you that watch are not subscribed. So if you want to get more content and you keep coming back and enjoying the videos, I recommend doing that. So I wanted to go over basically the entirety of the OTAs in one video. I don't really like going over each individual thing that happens in the practice because honestly, we're just talking about practice. But I want to see if there's any trends that occur in the practices, because then this will also take effect going into training camp, like certain things going on that we might need to keep a note on going into training camp and then into the preseason. So with that being said, I'm going to go over a couple things that I noted down from what has been more or less been talked about in the OTAs and just go over it a little bit. So this video might go on for a little bit, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the first major point of information is that Dak Prescott will be fully healthy come training camp. From what we're hearing from Coach Mike McCarthy and a couple other reports, Dak Prescott, now it's not like he was hindered in the OTAs. He actually was doing really well in the drills and stuff like that. It's more so of it's all good. He's recovered from his injury, and he's going to hit the ground running when we get to training camp. So that's great to hear. No setbacks, no nothing. Okay. Another piece as I look at my notes. So the biggest piece of information that we're hearing, one of them, is Nashon Wright has been impressing. He's been doing relatively well in the practices. Now, again, we got to understand the type of guys that he's going up against. So this is why I don't take it into a lot of consideration, but the point being is that you want these guys to get some confidence built up and you want them to do well. So from what we're getting at, he's been doing relatively well, and he's been, getting a lot of pointers here and there from the coaching staff. So it's good to hear. You need to hear these things. It's not like he's been sitting out. It's not like he's been terrible. And again, I like to reiterate, it's just a practice. But these are the types of things you want to hear going into the training camp, because if this trend continues, then we're going to possibly see if we have something in it. So there's that. Now let's see what else we got. CeeDee Lamb is looking fantastic. I already went over this in a video and how he's getting ready to take the next step. The one thing that, from what we've been looking at through videos of the practices that have been ongoing, is that CeeDee looks so much more refined than he did in his rookie year. And that's not an insult to what he did in his rookie year, because he was still great in his rookie year for what he was able to do. So we're seeing him make these acrobatic plays and stuff like that. Now, the one thing I did get was that Mike McCarthy still wants CeeDee Lamb to return punts. And I know a lot of people do not like that. I think his way of going about it is we don't have someone there that is sufficient enough. Me personally, I think you could put Tony Pollard at the punt and kick return type of stuff. You don't really need to put one of your number one guys at receiver in jeopardy of getting hurt on these punt returns. But then again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just we're still waiting to see how these other guys do. I don't know. But that's another key thing to take away, is that CeeDee Lamb has been looking great. Now, another point of information has been, it's been a very, very competitive setting for the linebackers, and Leighton has been doing well for the situations he's been put in. But another note came out from Todd Archer that apparently Keanu Neal and Micah Parsons were getting first team reps, and they've been doing very well, and they've been getting a majority of the time. Now this could be something of, it's they want to just get the young guys and the guys that are unfamiliar, with the system and stuff. I don't know, but it is a bit okay, so is something going on here? But I don't want to read too much into it, because again, training camp's going to open up a whole can of worms for that kind of stuff. So good to hear that the competition is alive and well in that linebacking room, especially with who we have there and what we want to see them do. So that's very important. And I mean, it's an important year for LV. He's in a contract year now because they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. So we'll see what happens. Now, the next thing is Tony Pollard at receiver. So there have been a couple of plays at the practices where they've been lining Tony up at receiver, and I think that this is a interesting way to get him involved. If you're not gonna get him the ball in terms of rushing and all this other stuff, at least get him involved some way somehow to exploit mismatches. We've seen Tony become a versatile weapon in the passing game since he's gotten to Dallas. And I think that if you can take advantage of his explosiveness some way, somehow, I think that you can't go wrong with it. I think that this just adds another dimension to your offense, which is already in the elite category. So, really great to hear. The next piece of information is that Ezekiel Elliott has been doing his thing. Look, you're paying Zeke all this money, and it looks like that he's explosive and stuff like that. Listen, this is stuff that we should expect from him. You're paying this guy top linebacker type running, top running back money. So I'm not shocked at this at all. I do believe that Zeke is going to have a bounce back year, especially if this offensive line can stay intact. There were moments last year where he did mess up, and yes, statistically speaking, it was not the best year for him. But what I will say is that, now that Dak is back, I think that he'll see a resurgence in his numbers and his statistics. So that's just some food for thought right there. But he's been doing very well, and that's great to hear. Now, there is a rumor circulating, and I don't want you to take this as gospel. Anthony Brown could be the favorite to start, outside, with Trevon Diggs. Now, is this the incorrect thing to do? Me personally, we don't know yet because we need to see how these younger guys do. I know in my most recent video I talked about how these young guys need to step up because this cornerback room is in desperate need of these young guys to really emerge as good guys. Now, some of you guys in the comment section, and I completely agree with you here, their play will dramatically increase if the front seven can get their job done. It's hard to really, as a cornerback and safety, to get your job done more effectively if the pass rush and all this other stuff is not getting there. If the front seven's not doing their job, the whole defense is going to be thrown off kilter. So, but either way, this could be just like a veteran thing. Like, hey, he's the guy that we've had. He's given us solid starting minutes and all this other stuff. All this other crap. But the point being is I'm not shocked at this. I think that this is more of a we need to wait and see what the rookies do. So, and then one of the final pieces of information I wanted to talk about was the first round pick for this year, Micah Parsons. He has been looking great, and the attitude that we've been seeing from him, the work that he's been putting in at the practices in terms of rushing the passer, coverage, you name it, he's been doing very well. And you need to see this from your top rookies. You need to see them putting in the work. It's not like that they're struggling. It's not like that they're having issues doing certain things. This is the stuff we need to hear going into training camp. And training camp starts in July, I believe. I believe it's the July 20th or something like that. Well, I'm going to have a video coming out for the training camp talk to what we want to see about a day or two beforehand. But other than that, the way I would look at it is that you need Micah Parsons to step up. You took him with the 12th pick. You had an opportunity to possibly trade down even more, or, maybe there was a guy that you wanted. When you have a guy that high, and especially with the amount of draft capital that you've put into the linebacking position, with LVE as a first-round pick, you have Jalen as a second-round pick with a given a large contract, and now you're bringing him in. You're banking on Micah Parsons being that next guy. So, either way, those are the takeaways that I had from the OTAs. I don't really care for them. but this is something that we need to consider going into training camp, so we're not going in blind like, oh, why is this guy doing this? How is he doing well? And all this other stuff. So I actually cannot wait for training camp to come around. And I think that this is going to be one hell of a year for these young guys to finally get back on track. Because we know what happened last year. The training camps were all virtual, no preseason games. So and that's as a result of the pandemic. So I think that this will help them a lot. So, so what to expect going forward as we get closer to the training camp? I'm gonna be starting to do some position grades. I did them last year, and they were very well received from you guys. I'm gonna bring them back this year. What I do is I grade each of the positions that the Cowboys have on A to F scale. How I feel where they're at currently, and is there ways, or what should we expect from that group going forward? So hope you guys are excited to see that come back. And yeah, there will be a couple other videos that I'm gonna have to do, as the lead up to training camp. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys can give me a like down below for the channel, that'd be fantastic, as well as subscribing and hitting the notification bell if you enjoyed this video. And I'll check you guys out in the next video, okay? Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.